Hi guys, welcome to today's class. We'll be going into the introduction to SQL, that is structured query language. We have learned the basics of Excel functions. We have learned how to create a dashboard and all like that. So this is introduction to SQL. So we're working with that, and then we're flying with the speed of light. So let's go on. Okay, now for our content, we'll be discussing what SQL is, basic database concept for beginners, and SQL commands. So let's fly. Yes, what is structured query language? Okay, let's go. What is SQL? What is structured query language? Now, structured query language is a programming language which is basically designed to actually manipulate data in a relational database management system. So I'll be explaining RDBMS later on as we go on. Now it allows you to retrieve data, to add data, change data, delete data, create data, and also have control access to the data. Now take note of this. When you think of SQL, you are thinking about instruct your database to get your specific desired result. You get, so that's that one. So let's go on. Fine. Okay. We should note that relational database management system is a type of database management system, and then database management systems are softwares that allow you to actually manipulate the database. You can use it to create, manage, and manipulate the database. So under database management system, we have the relational database management system, and then the non-relational database management system. So now let's go on to the next thing. Okay, let me explain what relational database management system is. A relational database are the ones that actually organize data into tables, define relationship within them, which includes MySQL. We'll be using MySQL for this class. PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, that's SQL Server. So all these are the softwares that you can use in relational database. You get now, and non-relational database are the ones that store various formats such as key, value pairs, documents, and graphs like that. So we will not be talking about that. We'll just major on MySQL, but I still want us to actually understand those types so that we can get the basics of databases. Okay, let's move on. Big database concepts definition. Now, these are the basics we need to actually understand when it comes to SQL. Number one, the database. The database is where data is being collected, organized, and stored in a way that allows efficient retrieval of the data or manipulation. So database is where the data is being stored. Now a table is a collection of related data in the database which are organized in rows and columns, while query is the request, is the command, is the instruction you write to actually manipulate your data in your database. Then we have rows and column, where row is just in record, knowing that is record, and column are in field. You get row and column. Now we have these two also, the primary key and the foreign key. They are very important. Primary key are column that uniquely identify each rows, like a unique identifier, while foreign key is a column that actually link to another table, like a relationship, a key that used to link two tables together. So when we get there, we get more understanding of that. So let's move. Okay, on that too, we need to understand data types in SQL. Data types include integer, varchar, date, decimal, boolean. Boolean is true or false. Decimal implies anything in decimal place, point and all, then date. But note this: the integer in SQL are numbers and varchar are strings, they are text. So when we start creating tables, I'll teach us how to create tables. So when we start creating tables, you will understand why you need to understand those data type, because you have to include the number of numbers you want, number of alphabet or letters you want in data type. So we need to get this. So these are very simple. So let's move. Types in SQL. These are the common data types we have in SQL: integer, varchar, date, and decimal. Then boolean. Boolean is true. Of course, we know that decimal having point in numbers. We have date, but these two are very important. Integers, whole numbers. Varchar in string. So integer, whole numbers, varchar and string. So all these things we are going to use them when we want to create our tables to actually determine the number of fields we want, like number of letters, number of numbers in our SQL. So let's move on. SQL commands. SQL commands. You know that SQL means structured query language. Now, so we have to understand the commands which we need to use when we want to actually retrieve our data, we want to do our data manipulation. You get, we have five basically. We have DDL, DML, DQL, DCL, TCL. Now, DDL means data definition language, which is used to actually modify database structure. Example includes create. While DML means data manipulation language, which is used to manipulate data in a database. Note that modify, manipulate. Then DQL is data query language used to retrieve data from database, like select. Then data control language DL is used to control access to the database. All this we just need to understand the basics, so we might not be using them as we do. Like, I'm not saying we not use the examples, we use the examples, but the command, you don't need to just cram, you don't need to cram it, just understand all these basics. And the last one is transaction control language used to manage transaction in the database. So these are the basics which I think we need to learn. So we're going to a practical class where we are going to be using our knowledge on this to solve problem. So thank you very much, thank you so much, thank you for this class. See you in the next class.